we have Dr. Feng Miao. I think it's really a pleasure to introduce her. We will hear more from her, also from experience in Chengdu. But I was really surprised, and it's an honor to introduce someone who has some patents and copyrights ownership in China. Please, Dr. Feng.
Thank you, Bert. Thanks for the EANET to organize this prevent organization. Okay. What I'm going to talk about today is focused on those three parts. First of all, I will introduce a little bit about Chengdu. As all you know Beijing or Shanghai, but don't know Chengdu, most of you. So I will do a brief introduction for Chengdu, and then I will focus on the topic today, the VOC reduction plan, and then I will do a short summarize. First of all, let's look at Chengdu. Chengdu is a developing city. It's located in the east of China. It's a basin area surrounded by the high mountains, and it is well known as a giant panda hometown. And it hosts the 2021 FIFA World University Campaign. And as I mentioned, it's a developing city. There are various of industries here, but as a fast urbanization city, it has quite fast economic and social increase. As you can see in the figure, that's the top 3 lines are the socio-economic indicators. The GDP, the motor vehicle ownership, and the total energy consumptions at its increased dramatically based on the baseline 2015. And most importantly, compared to the socio-economic increase, the air quality index are decreasing. And not just showing on the figures owning the pollutant concentration decrease, but also the photos taken by the citizens. We can observe the mountains from 100 kilometers away from the far side. And there are like 15% of the days among the year that we can observe the mountains in the downtown. And so what we have done, besides the control of the particulate matters, we focused on the VOCs, as Dr. Ahara and Dr. Previous ones talked about the chemical process of the air pollutions. The VOCs are one of the focus we have focused on. So what's the characteristics in Chengdu? We did a lot of the research on the source apportionment and the emission inventory building. As you can see on the left side, the source contribution of the VOCs, the big emitter are the industry sources, and followed by the mobile source. As a spatial distribution, you can see the central town has the most intensity of the emissions, and other surrounded by the dot points. And the components inventory shows us that the vehicle emissions and the food, the shoemaking industries has a high proportion of the argon emissions, and the furniture manufacturing emission counts for the high proportion of the aromatic hydrocarbons. And the electronic industries account for the high VOCs. So what we have done, besides with emission standards and the national guidelines, we also built up the Chengdu ways. At the beginning, first 3 years, we worked on the research. We want to know better what we emitted out. And then we take the action. We built a first action plan in 2017, and then we focused on the activities of the components. We take samples from the source and analyze which are risk for humans and which are more activities for ozone and particulate matters. After that, we built out our version 2 plan for more reactive components management. And recent 3 years, we take more different kinds of the measures. to name them. The strategy we take is classification for the management, because as I mentioned, developing city like Chengdu has various kinds of the emissions as the complexity of the VOCs. So we need to take different kinds of measurement for the management. And we treat the whole emitters to two types, one from the production process and one from the material they use. We set quite crucial rules for the producers that they use the materials they use for production, and we also do the whole process control during the production. So be more specific, just for because of time limit, I just do some examples. In industry sectors, for big sectors, for big emitters, that we do one by one plan for them, and we go one site and to do the action plan for them every factory. There are over 300 factories. And for the most important 39 industries, we grade them by their skill of management the environment. And so for each grade, they need to do actions during the pollution period. So as you can see the label on the downside in the middle, that's a label of one of the factory that they should to be show out during their pollution period, how to manage them. And for the small and micro enterprise, those enterprise, they need to be there, but we need to convince them to reduce their emissions, but they don't know how to. So we do free clinic for them, the government pay for it. And the experts going to the factory and to do the guide and teach them how to reduce their emissions. And based on those, we also build up our guidance for reduce emissions, as you can see on the bottom. Material replacement is another kind of a way, it's a handy way to reduce the reduction. As you can see in the figure, the automobile industry and the coating is one of the two big emitters. But we have already replaced by more than 35% with water-based solvent. And others are what we are going to work with. Besides the industry sectors, mobile sources are another quite big emitters. We upgrade the emission status for the mobile sources and also promote new energy vehicles. Actually, Chengdu now is with the highest amount of the vehicles in China, and it's more. We have more cars than Beijing. And at first we start with the public sectors, the traffic of public sectors, and then now we are convincing the private sectors. To summarize, in the short term, that we focused on the big emitters and the industries with high emission reduction potentials. This is a key for the short time reduction, and it's efficient. But for the longer time, treat the symptoms rather than the roots. So we are focusing on the more sustainable ways. We are Chengdu is focusing on their needs for climate change and also the sustainable development. They show out that they want to do a sustainable urbanization. So in 2021, we are going to change our 4 parts structures, and industry structure opticalization is what we are going to cooperate with. And in that way, we can, I think it's a big part of the reduction. That's what I will talk today. It's free to contact me with more information.